Right off the bat, let me just put out a disclaimer that while I am formally trained in history and while I have some small experience in archaeological analysis of artifacts, I am neither an Egyptologist nor a geologist. I am, however, a professional researcher and can both analyze the data critically and do have access to databases where others have formally published on this topic. So some people, very public people, have made the claim that the Giza Sphinx sitting in front of the pyramids was not in fact made during the dynastic Egypt period, but actually is 12,000 years old.
He's pushed the limit back to about 13,000 years. His counterpart, Anthony West, who died unfortunately recently, pushes it back to about 36,000 years.
Yes, 2500 BC, the ancient Egyptians were there, but I believe they found the Sphinx already created and already heavily eroded, and that they then recarved its head into the head of a pharaoh.
Because the temple of the Sphinx is the best evidence that it's older than people think it is.
The evidence provided for this thesis is based on the claim that the condition of the limestone on the Sphinx enclosure and the body shows signs of thousands of years of rainfall erosion. Problem I find with this theory is that there has been done quite a bit of geological research in the African human period, which spans about 14,000 to 5,000 years ago, and which encompasses the area of modern Egypt. And specifically, between 11,000 years ago and 5,000 years ago, the level of the Nile River at the location of Giza was both in the direct path of the river and was at a height that would have flooded the Sphinx enclosure totally for thousands of years. The evidence for the older Sphinx is based on rainfall weather marks, but assuming for a moment that the Sphinx is 12,000 years old, if there was any rain, it wouldn't have been able to reach the Sphinx enclosure of the body of the statue because that would have been submerged underwater for roughly about 6,000 years. Then its limestone makeup wouldn't have been just eroded, it would have been disintegrated. The construction of the neck of the Sphinx in particular is both vulnerable and weak, and it would never have been able to survive this. So is it possible that the Sphinx is 12,000 years old? Sure. Is it probable based on the publicly available and published archaeological and geological evidence? No.